Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Anselmo here. So today's video we're going to do a how to start a motorcycle and how to do basic riding for people that want to look it up, especially people that want to take the class. So I decided to do this on my old conventional Sporty because I figured just bare bone basics. So this is actually carbureted, so we are actually going to start it up with it. This is warm, so it probably could start without having to use the choke or an enricher. Some people call it, but I'm going to bring the camera over here, guys, so you can see everything. So with this motorcycle, there's actually no gas gauge. This is straight up bare bones. So come on over. I'm going to bring my beautiful cameraman over here. So this right here is our gas tank, of course. Now this bike is very simple. You have your key ignition here. You're going to have your run, and on this side, you're going to have a gas line. Come on over here. So especially with these old carbureted bikes, you're going to have an actual gas line that you have to turn on. So if you see right here, it's off. You turn it on, and here's your choke. Now when it's dead cold, you're gonna have to choke it, of course, to start it, even maybe give it a couple twists of the throttle, but that is the bare basics of it. Once you start it, we're gonna go through the simple. But on the left side of the motorcycle is your shifter and your clutch. So when you actually ride a motorcycle, just like driving a manual, you have a clutch. Here's your clutch. This is not a brake. Some people confuse this as a brake, but this is actually a clutch. You're going to pull this in and you're going to shift down into first gear. In between first and second is neutral, and above is going to go all the way to 5. Now this is a Sporty with a smaller transmission, so it's only got 5 gears. On my bigger bikes, they have a 6-speed transmission, so you're going to see it much bigger motorcycles. Don't be afraid of that. But in between first and second is neutral. Now most motorcycles, they like to start them in neutral. Honestly, doesn't really matter if you started it in gear or not, especially if you're on a hill and you want to lock it, you can start it in gear. And on the right side of the bike, if you look over here, is our throttle and our front brake, as well as our rear brake. Now, one of the tips that I always like to tell people that are new riders is I call it the 2 fingers. The reason I say 2 fingers is that's just enough braking to stop the motorcycle versus a grab motion, because you're naturally going to grab. And when you grab in a reaction time such and such, if you grab this and you lock these front forks and you go over, that's how a lot of motorcycle accidents happen. So I like to just use 2 fingers. That's just enough pressure to stop. It's just like our rear brake, we're just going to use just enough pressure to stop. But remember, this is 80% of your braking, this is 20% of your braking. This is what's going to actually get you to stop. This is what's going to slow you down. Now let's say you're on a hill now and you're sitting on your bike and you have your clutch pulled in, of course. There's nothing holding it, so you might want to just keep your right foot right on the rear brake so the bike stays stable up on a hill. So we're actually going to start it, and we're going to go through some of the motions of riding. Let me get the key out, guys. Ignore it for a second. I should play some elevator music in between. Thank you for our music in the background. So we're going to start a bike. Now this bike is in neutral. If you come over here, you can see the neutral light. That's how you can tell. Now this bike is fairly warm, so she probably will start without having to choke her. We're going to make sure our gas is on, maybe give it a twist of the throttle. One of the reasons I chose this motorcycle is because it's so quiet, you can probably hear it over the pipes. If I had chosen one of my other Harleys, you would not be able to hear me talking. So as simple as that, a little twist of the throttle, you can hear. So now we're going to put her into gear. So we're going to pull over. We're actually going to ride. We're going to hit up the kickstand, and here's our shifter. Now my left foot's going to be my left foot controls it, of course. I'm going to pull my clutch in, and then I'm going to kick down. Like so. Now you hear that little pop? That is the first thing. Go back to gear. So I'm going to pull my clutch in and put it in gear. Now, if I let the clutch out a little bit, the bike will start to go. Now if I don't give it gas though, it'll stall. So every time it's about to stall, gas tank. On this side we got our air filter, of course, our oil tank, our pipes. Bare bones motorcycle. I want to do it on a very, very basic motorcycle so you guys can see the actual simplicity of it. Now this is the basis of motorcycle riding, of course. Now when you get into higher RPMs, you're going to want to get out of the first gear. So when you get on the freeway and such, you're going to actually go into a different gear. I'm going to show you guys how to do that, so you get the basics of it. So we're going to pull on our clutch. So when we switch our gear, we're going to just pull on our clutch and we're going to go up. So we're going to go upward. So yes, we go down first and then we're going to go up to second gear, third gear, fourth gear. So that's just going to click. So I'll let you hear the click. So if you listen to my foot, I'm now on the second gear, the third gear, the fourth gear. Now I'm at max. I'm at max. I'm going to go down. Now a lot of times you're rolling. You're going to click down the gears. Now I'm back down to first. I'm just going to do a little half click and then the neutral. That's it. There's the bare basics of motorcycle riding. Thanks guys for watching. I'll definitely do some more videos. I'm going to do it on some of my bigger Harleys so you guys can see the differences. But I definitely recommend anyone that's going to get into motorcycle riding, Sportsters are some of the bare basics of, and they're some of the most reliable Harleys out there. They're very affordable to new riders and they're one of the most simple riders. I definitely recommend Sportsters. Thanks guys.